Here we go, baby. Back at it again. 2 Down, 1 Over podcast. I'm Josh Mason. This is Matt Flanagan, and we are here to rock the mics, man. What's going on, Matt? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's up, man?
Yo, chilling, man. Chilling, man.
Chilling.
Look, you got the Winthrop.
Yeah, supporting Sophia
representing. I see.
Sabatini,
Okay,
I know.
shout out Sophia.
Yeah,
I see
what's
you
up,
out there,
Sophia?
man. You know, I'm representing the Kansas City Red.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, after this drops, they won the Super Bowl already. Okay, Kansas City Red is on heavy. But yeah, how's things going?
Good. Good week. I'm excited for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Good week. Dallas
Yeah.
basketball's doing good.
Dallas
Life is
basketball,
good.
they just won, right? You
The
just beat Crestwood.
conference title.
Won the conference title.
Yep.
Congrats on that, man.
And Tunkhannock played extremely well
Yep.
against Pittston. That helped
Against
us,
Pittston,
actually.
which
Yeah.
helped you,
We're
all right?
figuring out
So
they're
you're
pretty
finishing
good.
up with Hazleton.
Got Hazleton on
Nice.
Thursday. No, hopefully
You take care
by
of
the
business.
time
By the time this comes out,
we beat them.
you already got that, and then you'll be lining up.
We could still get the number 1 seed actually in the district,
Nice,
which is
nice.
crazy. Which is
I like to see that, man.
which is
Because
awesome.
those kids work hard.
They are.
You know, they
Yeah,
put the
they're
work in
hardworking
here at Fame
kids.
Strength, and you know, took care of business at the flight school that we offer. So I mean, hey, it's showing.
It's showing.
It's showing,
Yeah.
man. That's what it is.
Super fun year.
You right?
Yeah,
Right?
so fun,
So listen, man, let's get on to our topic, man. The topic of the day is it's balance, man. You shot it out to me. You know, as you guys know, we just pick a topic before we go on.
Yeah.
And Matt gave me the topic of balance. He was like, "How about balance, dude?" And I was like, "You know what? Let's make it happen, dude. I'm
Yeah.
for whatever. We throw it out there and let's talk balance." So you want to kick things off?
So one thing that growing up, my father always used to say that to me. He said, balance is the key of life. And I never understood that until probably like college or
Yep.
like even after college. Because I look back and growing up, it was basketball all the time. And that's like all I thought about. It's all I did. And I remember after the season, so the season ends and the next day I'm like training for the next season and like go and just like, that's the way I work. Like my mind works like that, where I got to go. But
Yep.
you burn out.
Yes.
You know, you burn out. And
If you don't have balance, right?
If you
You're
don't
saying,
have
yeah,
balance,
sure.
Yeah, if you don't have balance, and that's something I've had to incorporate. And I found like if I would rest a little bit and take some time off, you come back almost even better.
Yeah.
And you know that's been a lesson that stuck. I actually have a huge tattoo on my back. That's like a big yin yang tree of life. But
Yeah.
it's for my dad.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to me.
Okay.
So. Yeah, I think balance, and it's something that we have to coach too.
Yeah.
And we see people overtraining sometimes, and we need to create that time for balance. And one thing, like we're going hard right now with basketball. We just talked about basketball and coaching, and I love coaching.
Right.
I absolutely love it. I love coaching basketball. I love coaching in here, but it gets to be a lot.
Yeah.
After the season, it's time for a little reset.
Sure.
And hopefully that's a couple weeks down the road.
Yep.
But I know just to keep that balance in my life, I know I'm going to need a week to just kind of chill out, relax, and to have not a lot of mental demand.
Right.
you know?
That makes sense. I mean, I think for the most part, everyone chases balance, right?
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I don't know if everyone achieves balance.
I work on it, but I don't think I do.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
try to get better at it.
Yeah. I think
but-
it's like everyone's thought is like, man, let's create balance,
Yeah.
one way or another. But I think we chase it, and I'm not sure if we achieve it, because the what I think is, if you want to be successful, I think you can't be bad. I think there's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's tough. It's a hard like concept. But I think if you're chasing something, or if you want to be successful in something, there is imbalance. There's imbalance, right? What do you think?
So I know what you're saying, and I know that like people talk about like obsession. People talk about you have to like. Sometimes I'm obsessed with this field. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, but sometimes I get my best ideas on like Wednesday, which
Yes.
for me is date night for me and my wife. We go out to eat. There's no talk about any exercise science stuff. There's no talk about programming.
Right.
And I feel like that's when I totally let go of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's when these good ideas come in.
Yep.
Or sometimes if we go away for a weekend, that's when these ideas come in.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, you have to have, pedal to the metal, and you have to constantly be working at this stuff.
Yeah.
But you also have to realize that results come in during rest. So
Sure.
what do we teach
Sure.
when we're in here? Say, you're only as good as your recovery,
Yep.
right? And there's mental recovery too.
Yeah. 100%.
So when you study, you need that down period for it to kind of sink in a little bit. And just like you bench press, you squat, you deadlift, you do all this stuff, and you have to recover from that. You need good sleep, you need good diet, and the same goes for mentally. And that's balance to me, and that's something that I constantly am working towards. Is finding that balance where yes, I want to be better and better and better and better, but I also have to find that day or that time where I could kind of let my mind go a little bit. So let me ask you this: how do you define balance? Because do you chase balance? Do you look for it?
So I think that's where I was going to go with it, because what you said is like defining balance. I think everyone has a different definition of what balance means to them, right? And I think it would be obviously their circumstances. But yes, I think I do chase balance, right? I'm not sure that it's ever there, but I like the concept. So like when you're saying like, hey, you take that break, you take that recovery, do you look at it as break, or do you look at it as, hey, you're trying to balance this overload or this demand? So I see your point there, but balance is important, regardless of what I'm saying, or right. I'm just playing like that devil advocate kind of, but balance is important because it's healthy. Right? Like that's what it comes down to, being healthy, and not only healthy physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally, in all facets. Because like you said, and everyone knows the term of like too much of anything is not good. Right. So regardless if you're obsessed with your job, or you're obsessed with, chasing your dreams and all of those things, too much of something is not good. So you're deficient, or there's a negative effect on you in some aspect of your life if the balance isn't there and you don't look for it, right? So I don't think I ever get complete balance. I'm not sure if I ever
me
get,
neither. Really, I don't.
Right, the complete balance, but I think it is great to be aware of it and to plug it in places where you need to be. Just like you said in the athletes or the adults training in here, there's the concept of overtraining, right? So like the idea of rest and recovery is creating balance, right? You love to work out. You want the results. You want to get stronger. You want to get faster. But too much of anything is not good. So too much of that, actually, you're hurting yourself, right? We're breaking down the tissue. Where your body's reacting in a way. Your risk for injury goes up. So you need to have rest recovery. So there has to be balance for you to be successful, especially if we're talking longevity or availability. Right. As far as like a life essay as an entrepreneur, I think absolutely, especially being a family man, right? Because you got to imagine, there's, entrepreneurship as far as, running your businesses. Then you have your wife, and then you have your kids. So that's family. And then maybe there's hobbies or extracurricular things that you're doing out there. How do you give attention to all, and how do all get the attention that's needed?
So I know for me in my life, like I have to identify what's super important, and my business, what I do, training, super important to me. My wife, means the world to me. I got to have time for that, and I got to have time for Dallas basketball. I got to have time for friends and family. So identifying these things and making sure I don't overload one or the other, or understand like what needs attention or what's getting neglected. These things. And sometimes for me, that's, in the summer, in here we're going.
It's peak season.
And so we're in here, we're doing a lot, and we're also starting to prep for the basketball season. So there's a lot going on. Well, I gotta also make sure I find time for my family, I find time for my wife, and things like that. And it's not always the easiest thing, but it's super important. Because I know like there's so many times where I hit such a mental wall and like a mental fog, because I just go and I'm doing the same thing all the time, and I put so much time and effort. And it doesn't mean like I lose the passion. Right. And I think I used to get confused that I lost the passion. No, I need just a little reset. Need a little reset. You need a couple days to put the light somewhere else, and then it kind of lights that fire again.
And it's like a tune-up, right, for the body, the mental, all of that. So you're right about that. It's about finding that balance, because it's very easy to get caught, especially if you're like motivated and ambitious. Like it's very easy to get in the mode of just like lasering and I'm chasing, right? And that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing everything you need to do, but you also have to find the balance to whatever you're doing, right? Because like you said, I think with balance, and if you can have some sense of that, you're able to give more to what that dream or ambition is, right? If you have the balance, because you can fall into the whole burnout situation. You can fall into a situation where you get anxiety or you're stressed, so you're not working your best. So think about like, hey, this gym, right? So if we don't have balance, proper balance in our lives, you know, are we giving our best to our clients and our members and our athletes? No, right? So like you said, there has to be some sense of balance because we have to have a reset. We have to have the recharge. So like, say for someone that may not understand properly of why they need to balance, because you can really go with the mentality of like, nah, man, I'm going hard 110%. There's nothing that's going to stop me. I'm not slowing down for nothing. This is what it is, and I'm only doing this.
So I think, all right, so I'll just give you an example. So like when I got out of college, it was, for a while, it was like all about making money. Mm-hmm. Okay? It was all about making money. I loved exercise science, and I was bartending, and, you know, I was bar backing and serving and doing all those things. And it was all about like, all right, I want to try to pay these bills, and I want to do this, and I want to try to set myself up. But I would start picking up shifts, and I would and I'm constantly looking, okay, now I'm going to get this paid, and like it just spin it. And this is, I felt like this went on for like 8 years, but then I hit a complete wall. I hit a wall, and I was like, oh man, and then I started spending, and then it went the other way.
Right.
Where I was like, oh, I don't care anymore. I'm done with this. This is ridiculous. This is no way to live. So all this hard work that I had put into like trying to get a savings and try to pay my loans and try to do all this stuff, like totally got squashed. It went the other way because I wasn't having fun with my friends. You know, I wasn't doing other things that, you know, that I should have been doing or could have been doing.
Or taking care of your body, eating correctly, right?
Just
like,
living a healthier lifestyle, because there's different parts, you know, like, listen, finances are important stuff, but like mental, emotional, physical health, like these are all things. And, you know, when we talk about balance, there's more to it than just that. And like the financial thing is one thing. And I'll tell you, a couple years later, where I really started to gain some steam in this field and training, I was going 7 days a week. And I would still try to study and still try to do some of the things that I do now, because I always want to be better. And I think I had that mentality, like work hard, work hard, work hard. But I just hit a wall, and I felt like I wasn't connecting, and I wasn't able to do some of these things. And I felt like I was going the wrong way. But I was going 7 days a week. There was no reset. My sleep was affected. My diet was affected. So all these things, and like, how are you going to do that? And one quote I like is, you know, about working smarter, not harder. But working hard is a great thing, and I'll never say don't work. Work hard. I'm a big believer, but I think you have to work smart. And I think, to me, that's another thing that's balance.
You know? You're right.
When I was able to take a day off, everything, you know, I can work really hard for 6 days or 5 days. And I was way more productive. I was way healthier, and I was able to joke around. I felt like I was able to connect better. I teach better and get a lot more accomplished in that.
You know what? It's funny, because what just came to my mind was the idea of, you know, athletes specializing in one sport
I was
early.
thinking about that earlier,
right?
too.
So like, you could kind of like flip this. So when an athlete specializes in one sport early, right, they go hard, and that's the only thing they're doing. But typically, in statistics show, right, that injury, right, burnout, that happens when it's like that. But then on the flip side, if you have a kid that's multi-sport athlete that does all sports, so now what we're saying is balance. Right? We're talking balance now. You know, different movement patterns within those sports, which is creating balance through the body.
Correct.
Right? They usually excel and their sports and or whatever their main sport that wants to be, right? They gain the benefit from that. So applying that to life on that side of balance is the same thing, right? If you're have balance and you're gaining different qualities and experiences from different facets of your life, it all comes together to help you for your main thing, right? Or your main sport. So, I mean, I think that's eye-opening of someone to understand that. It's like, dude, balance is great for you because you learn different skills and attributes and experiences that are going to help you personally, but then help you become your best version.
Yeah.
In especially your passion of whatever that is, right? So it's like, hey, find that balance, figure that out, get to it. How do you think, well, I'll tell you this. So I think the first thing you do is probably like an audit, right?
We talk about that a lot.
We talk that, right? So like the first thing is like an audit. What does my life look like? What does the picture look like? You know, so are we looking at, okay, let's look at, work life. Let's look at family life. Let's look at social life. Let's look at family, or friends life. You look at those things, and I think you kind of see where they're at.
Sure.
And then maybe that's where you start, right? Now it's like you start tapping into, like, I've been really slacking on this, or, I need to work on this, or I've been doing way too much there. So I think you start with an audit, right?
Yeah,
I
think 100%.
And then how do you continue from there?
And, we talk about awareness too. Like, you have to be aware that there's a bunch of things to balance. And for me, like, I look at, am I happy? And if I'm happy, usually things are in balance. Yeah. And like you said, like an audit. So I figure out what things are important to me and what different parts of my life and like physically, emotionally, socially, like, am I meeting all these needs?
Yeah.
And if not, where do I need to work on? And, sometimes it could be socially.
Yeah.
Or I mean, the flip side, maybe it's a little too much social, but this is like usually, but like sometimes it's, as adults, we get so caught up in doing a million different things that sometimes, like, that needs a little bit more. Like, where we do that. So I think, like, you're onto something where you say audit, and we say that a lot, but like, to us, that's reflecting, right? Yes. And we need, like, for us, we need time to reflect and see, review this stuff.
Yeah. I think when you're not feeling your best, or you can't give your best, I think that's a clear sign of, hey, let's do an audit real quick and
check this out.
And I know there's a bunch of ways, and I think it's whatever's important to you is what you have to go and scan through.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like the 7 F's or whatnot, but it's something like where it's pie charted, where it's like fitness, family, faith, finances, friends, fun, right? I don't know how many F's that was. Did you count them?
That was anywhere from 3 to 10.
Well, whatever, right? Whatever. So those F's, so like that could be a good way to start. Yeah. Like, what does fitness look like in your life? What does faith look like in your life? What does family look like in your life? Finances. What does fun look like? What does your friends look like? And that could be a starting point. Like, hey, where are my levels at? And maybe that's the framework you utilize to start. But again, I think it's different for everyone, and I think balance is defined different for everyone also. So, but hey, figure it out where you need it, and I think balance will overall make you a better person and a better performer.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah. For me, what I was just thinking about this. I have a goal book.
Yeah.
Okay, but on the front of it, I have things that are important to me, and it's just like, spiritual health, like budget, like exercise. So I see that every day, and it's just right on the front. So I just real quick just kind of scan through that, and that's really helped me.
Yeah,
just to make sure I'm not forgetting something or getting off track. A little bit one way, and just to make sure that I'm happy and the best version of myself.
Yeah, I like it. And the people you surround yourself with, right? That's going to help, because I think whether it's a mentor, whether it's family, friends, I think they can give you answers too.
Yeah.
Right? 100%. Because sometimes, like, you're caught up in your shit, like, where, like, lenses are closed and you're not fully aware.
Yeah.
And maybe friends or family or mentors can give you insight of, like, yo, dude, this is what's happening. Like, look at you. We
can't always see it too.
Correct.
And it's funny how we kind of tie different episodes together in different pieces, but it's funny how we're all like, we need help in that aspect because we're not always aware when
Yeah.
we're steering off or,
Yep.
or if something's not in balance or
Right.
you know. And one thing I'll touch on real quick is like just coaching kids and you know, you see like somebody gets into a relationship and they forget about a bunch of different
Yeah.
things. I was guilty of that.
Yeah, the
you know,
balance,
I was,
man.
you know, I got into a relationship in high school and I forget about training and I forget about homework and I forget about these other things where I need to focus on bettering myself too.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a relationship
Yeah.
and it's great. You need experience. And,
Sure.
But if that's the only thing I'm really concerned about and I'm forgetting about these other things, then I'm going to get myself into a little trouble.
Yeah, you dropped the ball. You dropped the ball, man.
Big
I'll,
time.
I'll go with the student athletes too, in the sense where whether it's a relationship or it's a sport, you know, grades,
Oh,
right?
that's
Like
another
grades,
thing,
like
sure.
that's the
Yeah.
one thing where, you know, kids or student athletes get focused on the other things and they lose sight of the grade. Their grades start to suffer because of balance.
Absolutely.
Right? They're
Yeah.
caught up in whatever they are and are going too hard with that, which then now that marking period comes out and you see like them grades drop. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, that's an audit, man.
I
Like,
know,
so,
yeah.
dude, something needs
Shine
to
some
change.
more light on that.
Yeah, something needs to change. And the same thing with fitness. Like, you know, you hop on a scale and you see a 10-pound increase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh,
Yo, I'll be honest with you, and I think I told you this.
Yeah.
Talk about that. December.
yeah.
Basketball is going on. There's a million different things going on in my life. The holidays. I gained 17 pounds.
17,
I was
baby.
like, oh, man.
Yeah, right?
It wasn't muscle.
And that was an audit.
That was an
Right,
audit.
that was
where I
immediately like, all right, wait a
and, you know,
second.
I'm like that typical
Yep.
guy, January, oh, now I'm going to
Yeah,
hit it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I know I have to.
Sure.
I don't want to get unhealthy, but I let myself go a little
Yeah,
bit. I got,
yeah.
you know, I got distracted with a few things. And for me, I was like, all right, let's dial back into fitness here and just
Yeah.
making sure it is an important part of my life.
It happens to all of us,
yeah.
man. Happens to all of us. I do
know?
the same thing. And, you know, as much as like, obviously we live and breathe fitness and this is our world, there's times where I fall off track too, dude.
Sure.
Like it's just, and what you'll say is like, it's just other things, right? That
Yeah.
you put as priorities and then you put that lower and then you come to find out like, damn, man, I'm out of shape. Like I was running down the court a couple times. I was like, bro,
Yeah, it's
like,
time.
yo, I gotta get back in shape because my lungs was hurting, you know. And those are the moments where you're like, all right, we're at a balance
Yeah,
here, right?
yeah,
like
something-
I need to
something's
fill this
off.
bucket up a
Yep.
little bit. But nah, man, that's cool, man. Any last words with what's going on with
No,
this?
hopefully it helps somebody, and hopefully this will strike you. And I did not learn this until later in my life, and I still try to apply it. I'm
Yeah.
definitely not perfect at it,
Yep.
but these are little things that help me
Yeah.
get better at it. And
Right.
that's I hope to continue to get better at it.
Yeah,
That's
I think we're always you know, kind of chasing that balance theme in our lives, but as long as you're making some time for some areas in your life that you're trying to put more effort into,
Yeah.
don't fill it all in one bucket. Like that's
right.
all we're saying, man. You need that rest, you need that reset, you need that recovery to be your best.
Multiple
All right, so I
buckets,
hope you
yep.
got the nuggets from this, man, because I think we rocked it out again.
go.
So this is episode 15.
I think, yeah.
15, man. We're in the building, dude. Again, I hope we're at 100 subscribers by now.
I hope so.
You know, but if not, and you're listening and you didn't subscribe, please subscribe. All right,
Subscribe.
let's hit that button. But anyways, it's 2 down, 1 over. I'm Josh. This is Matt. We'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you for listening.
Peace.